Good morning everybody, it's Graham once again from Unearthed and another episode of Detecting Talk. Now there's quite a little bit of information to get through this morning, so what I'm going to do is break it into little chunks if I can and get rid of them one by one. So first off is the sad news that we've had to cancel all our organised digs for the foreseeable future. And obviously you guys know now that the coronavirus or COVID-19 disease virus is on our doorstep, so we can't take the risk of holding any organised digs whatsoever. So the one on the 29th of March sadly has been knocked on the head, and we don't know when we're going to have these digs, these organised digs, back up and running. Who knows? It's anyone's guess at the moment. And some of you people that are watching the news channels, in particular watching the World Health Organization and the other departments and the other bodies, I should say, that are giving out this rather worrying news all over the world. You know, we don't know when this is going to hit us or if it's going to hit us as bad as it's hit other countries, but we just can't take the risk on our organised digs. We only have to have somebody that's carrying the virus pass it over to some people that have maybe elderly parents or grandchildren or children themselves, and people start getting poorly off the back of it. Me personally, and Melanie also included, we'd never be able to forgive ourselves for holding these digs. So I know the people that are down to attend the dig on the 29th are all aware that it's not going to go ahead now, and they're all fully supporting our decision, which is really good. There's nobody said, "Oh, come on, let's get out in the fresh air." The problem is, somebody only has to sneeze and it becomes airborne, believe it or not, airborne for that short sort of distance, gets into somebody's lungs or whatever, or airwaves, and next minute they've got it. So it's just not worth the risk us running any of these digs for the foreseeable future, which is a disappointment, because on a personal level, I love watching you guys finding stuff. I love meeting our friends and customers and everybody else. This has just completely knocked everything on the head. And of course, just as worrying with this coronavirus outbreak is the fact that our phones have just pretty much gone dead. From last Wednesday, when we were really busy selling detectors and accessories to people up and down the country, from sort of last Wednesday, Thursday, the phones just start ringing. So anybody that's had a bit of disposable income and wanted to buy detector accessories and detectors from Unearthed, obviously are keeping hold of the money for obvious reasons, and you can't blame them for that. But it's already had an impact on our business, which is a real worry for me and Melanie. What can we do about it? We can't do anything about it. The frustration levels that I have are probably off the scale at the moment. I want to start pointing fingers at somebody about this virus, but you just can't do it. So it's a very difficult situation that we're in, and I just hope and pray that people, they stay safe, they don't catch it, and we get back on our feet relatively quickly, in so much as it passes over and everybody can get back on with their lives. But I've just got this horrible sneaky feeling that it's going to get worse before it gets better, but who knows. Let's hope, fingers crossed, that by next month into May, maybe June, that we can start talking positive things again and positive vibes. It's had an impact on me personally with some of the projects that I had in the pipeline. They've been cancelled and put on hold because of the coronavirus. So it's hit me three ways. It's hit us really. It's a really horrible thing. So yeah, a bit down in the dumps today about it, and I think there's a lot of people out there experiencing the same problems. But the main issue is staying healthy and staying safe and away from this horrendous virus. Now, what I found is we're getting some phone calls off other dig organisers and rally organisers from up and down the country asking me or us at Unearthed how we're going about things, and we've told them we've cancelled, and they're doing the same, which is really heartwarming to see that there's people out there and organisations, dig organisers, rally organisers, following suit and knocking their organised digs and rallies on the head, cancelling them, which I think is absolutely the right thing to do. It's a sensible approach. One or two still thinking about going ahead with theirs, and I don't think they're doing the right thing personally. I really don't. I think if they're in the money game and they're earning money off the back of the digs, they've got to step back and say, hang on a minute, money there takes a backward step. We've got to start thinking of people's health. It's all right saying we're out in the fresh air and everything, but what about when people get together around cars, having a bit of a crack before the rally starts, having a bit of a crack at dinner time? It's not worth the risk. So I'd be very surprised if there still is 1 or 2 rally organisers out there still going ahead with it, but I am hearing rumours that they are, which is disappointing. But you know what? Nothing to do with me. I'm only giving my opinion. Right, so that's the sort of the bad luck stuff out the way, and the horrendous situation that we all seem to be finding ourselves in. Changing the subject slightly, there is a shout out actually to a new YouTube channel, and this is a gentleman called Dave Taylor. Tat as he's known, as his nickname is. He is a Minelab user, he's an Equinox user, and he's been moderately successful with his Equinox 800 for a number of months now, probably over a year or two actually, and he's set up his own YouTube channel, which is Minelab Northern Detexpert, because he wants to become on the Detexpert program with Minelab, because he thinks he can offer people advice and guidance about how to get the best out of their Equinox machines. That's both 600 and 800, and he does know his stuff. There's no two ways about it. This guy knows his stuff. So if you search on YouTube for the Minelab Northern Detexpert, you'll find Dave's channel. Now he's only got very few subscribers at the moment, so it'd be nice if 1 or 2 people could subscribe to him, especially the Equinox users, and they would probably pick up quite a few hints and tips on how he gets the best out of his machine. He does a lot of pasture work, he does a lot of deep pasture work, and he does come up with some really nice finds every time he goes out. So give him a subscribe. Why not? He'll probably subscribe you back. Some of you guys that are running your YouTube channels and are serious about it, I'm sure he'll give you a subscribe back if you do the same to him. So that's that out of the way. What else? Right, so we've actually got some new accessories. I mean, I don't know where this is going to go at the moment, but we have the red belly carbon fibre shaft systems, and also the black 3-twill carbon fibre shaft systems for the Equinox machines, Equinox 600 and 800. These are made by Detected, which are very, very popular in Australia. We now, the supplier, are the dealer for the UK, supplying these to many, many Minelab users. Now the difference is, people are asking me, well, what's the difference between these new shaft systems to the ones that we've already got with the Minelab? And there's 3 things that stand out. They're stronger. They're at 40% stronger than the current shafts, or more. They're actually a heck of a lot lighter than the standard shafts, so it makes the detecting experience much more enjoyable. And also I think it, especially the red twill, and the black actually, but the red twill in particular, it does make the machine stand out. It makes it look really good. So there's no shaft wobble either, absolutely zero shaft wobble. Now some of you guys out there say, well, why should I have to pay, an extra £100 or whatever it is, or slightly less for the black system, when Minelab should already be producing? And Minelab have produced a decent stem system actually with their Equinox. It just, this aftermarket stems are better. Just like in the coil game, when people buy aftermarket coils, they do it to enhance the performance, and it's exactly the same with the carbon fibre shafts. Exactly the same. So 1 or 2 people have had some really sort of, typical miserable messages off people saying, well, I'm a bit disappointed that people are selling these, because it should be already, you're already paying £800 or £600 or whatever it might be for your Equinox. But you've got to think of it, people like to put added accessories on their detectors. If you've got nothing positive to say on this channel, don't say it. It's as simple as that. Which also leads me on to my last video, where we showed you how to use the Pinpoint Pro properly. Now, I dug a hole, right? I dug a hole like I dig on pasture. That hole now on the test bed can no longer be seen. So if you remember the last video, when I dug a hole, stamped it down, showed you where the hole was, that hole is completely invisible now. Now I did get 1 or 2 messages, especially off a couple of Americans, right, kicking off about the way I dug that hole. Now we've got to remember 2 things. I don't dig in America. I don't dig on these parks, right? The Central Park, in America. If you were digging the holes like that on the Central Park in America, you'd be shot. It isn't a park. This is winter pasture, right? It's winter pasture, I've been digging a heck of a lot longer than most people care to imagine. So never have I had a hole lift up, look messy, or anything else on winter pasture. That's a winter pasture field. If I was digging holes in the summer when it was nice and dry, I wouldn't dig the hole or the turf completely out. I'd leave a flap so it went back down neat. So it's a totally different scenario to Central Park detected in the middle of the summer, right, when everything's nice and dry and the holes just lift out. That is a hole that I dug for winter pasture. So if you can't say anything positive, don't bother saying it and go on, disappear off to another YouTube channel. We don't have negativity on this. If I was digging a hole in the summer, in the dry period, that hole would have been completely different or looked different to what it is yesterday. Absolutely no mud. It was one of the neatest holes you could ever imagine. And like I said, you walk back over there now, you'd never even be able to tell I was there. Within 24 hours of me digging that hole, you wouldn't have even been able to tell I was there. So people need to get the facts right when they start criticising people about digging holes. There's nothing wrong with that hole. Perfectly dug. Winter pasture, not a problem. Nice and damp conditions on the earth. Perfect way of digging a hole. Like I said, in the summer, things are different when it's nice and dry. You would dig probably a flap, leaving a bit connected, just flap it over. You could even put a bit of tarpaulin sheet out so the soil goes onto the sheet, everything goes back in, you lift the sheet out of the way and there's no mud left. Right, so that's that rant over and done with. Now, this is a bit, I haven't been out detecting for weeks and weeks and weeks. I've only been out 4 or 5 sessions this year. 2 of them have been on organised digs of my own. So I'm itching to get out detecting with my detecting partner Gaz, just as an isolated pair, out in the middle of nowhere. And I think up to now, I think we can pretty much get away with that. And I'm thinking of probably having an adventure out on Saturday or maybe Sunday, weather permitting. So until they say you can't travel anywhere and everything's on lockdown, I think individuals or lone detectorists are pretty much okay. Self-isolation out in the middle of the fields, no rallies, no organised digs, no hundreds or dozens of detectorists around you. It's just a couple of guys spread out in a field in the middle of nowhere. Now, I think the sensible thing would be to do is give the farmer a ring and just say, listen, we are due to go detecting on the weekend. Can we just go anywhere? Is there a particular field we can detect on without us knocking on the farm and disturbing you and having any contact? Is it worth just giving the farmer's ring? I think it pretty much is. So that might be an option for people that I think are going detecting this weekend who are a bit cautious about approaching the farmers, or the landowners. Just give them a tinkle. If you've got the number, give them a tinkle. I'm sure they'll be fine about it. So that's probably the way we're going to deal with it. And of course, I'll be using the Equinox again and see what we can bring up. Fingers crossed. I don't think we've got too many sessions left before the crops and everything are in and a lot of the land becomes out of bounds. So I might just have to resort back to doing some pasture work here in Cumbria up until sort of May time, April, May. So we'll see how we get on with that one. And of course, lastly, I would like to just thank everybody for their custom over the last few years, and in particular recently. Where you can support small business like Unearthed ourselves, it's very much appreciated. Like I said, at the moment, everything's just gone completely dead. And it's a real concern for us as well. I don't mind, I'm not embarrassed to say it, we've gone absolutely dead. Such a shame. But let's hope for more positive news next time I'm sat here talking to you guys. For now, take care, stay safe, and please, please, please do the right thing. If you feel like you're coming down with this horrible virus, do the right thing, self-isolate, follow the government guidelines, World Health Organization guidelines, and hopefully we can all come out the other end pretty quickly. Okay, bye for now, take care.